Hello everyone to our second video about Lendlord Auctions. I'm joined by David Sandeman and Toby Limbrick from the Network Auctions. In this video, we are going to speak about the process, how you can submit inquiry to sell your property. Of course, we encourage landlord users that now in a position that they want to sell or they need to sell the properties to submit inquiry and do it through Lendlord Auctions with all the benefits that we discussed in the previous video. And in this video, we will discuss the process, starting when you submit the inquiry until basically you complete. David, if you have a few words before we jump into the demo, feel free.
Yeah, yes, I think for my mind, the moment you're thinking of selling a property, start collating the documents you're going to need for the sale. Gas safe certificates. If you've had some new windows put in, can you put your hand on the fenster certificate? Loads of things, guarantees, schedules, etc., history of boiler servicing. All these things are important and will add value to the property and make the property more marketable when Toby comes to sell it and be more attractive to the people who want to buy. And what you're about is getting people to think this is an oven ready deal, ready to go. There's no work for me to do. There's no unknowns. It's worth the money. And then there'll be pricing accordingly, which will be in your favor. So just get the documents ready. At some stage, you'll probably sell the property in the future. So get in the habit of collating all the necessary documentation. So, and you can start that today. You can start that today, not the day you decide to sell it.
Great point, and you can do it using your Lendlord account. From
Yeah.
My Portfolio, you can upload all the relevant documents. Yes, Toby?
No, 100%. David's right. And, you know, we're looking to get people to the point of exchanging contracts within 3 or 4 weeks of first asking us for help. So, you know, the Lendlord account, Avi, is going to have the vast majority of what we need, that legal pack already there. That makes life very easy. But think like a buyer. What would you want to see? What information would you want about the property? What would convince you to buy? You can't provide too much information. We have basic requirements in the legal pack, but if you can provide more information, a buyer's far more likely to bid. So yeah, be prepared, be ready. And when you press that button, things will happen very quickly for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are aiming to basically launch our first auction in mid-January, January 18, on Wednesday. So in order to do that, if you want to participate in this auction as a seller, basically you will need to start submitting like the inquiries, and then we can start the process. And I will now show you how you can do it using your Lendlord account, and we will explain a bit about the process. So let me share the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so on Lendlord, we have a new section, buy and sell. On the Lendlord auction, once we get the lots, you will be able to see all the lots that will be in the first auction. But now, basically, we just allow users to submit inquiries in order to sell the properties. So go to list property, then click proceed, and we will ask several data items, of course, like the name, but of course, if you maintain different owners on your Lendlord account, it should be auto completed. If it's a company, then we will ask for some details about the company, the contact details of one of the directors. Then we asked for the property address. If you already maintain properties on Lendlord, you will get a drop down to select the relevant property. What is your estimation about the property value, and if it's currently tenanted or not? If it's currently tenanted, landlord will take the information about the tenancy from your landlord account. But if you don't have it, you just need to type it here. We'll not do it now. Just let's say that it's not tenanted. So, but if it's tenanted, we ask some information about that. Then we ask you, few words about what is your motivation, why basically you need to sell this property. So this is the opportunity to do it. And Toby, perhaps you will speak about this point, very important. What is more important for you, top price or speed and certainty of sale? This will help us to basically set the expectations when we quote the reserve price post the appraisal process. Then click next, click proceed. Don't worry, there's no obligation here, just for us to get the inquiry and be in contact with you. Then we'll ask some extra information if we don't have it on your landlord account about the property. And you will see the steps from submitting the inquiries to completion on the left side. And I will let you, Toby, to speak about the different steps. Basically, after the landlord submitted his inquiry, what happens next?
Yeah, fine. Thanks, Aviram. So basically, the first thing that we want to do is to have a conversation with that landlord about the property and give them an appraisal, and that appraisal is our recommended reserve price. So the information that they've already given us helps a lot with that appraisal. There may be some more information. In theory, what we need to understand is what is it, where is it, what's the situation with the tenant, how much rent are they paying. We will then go away and do a desktop appraisal and come back to the seller with a recommendation for reserve. And at that point, if they want to progress, we'll then take them down the path towards auction. If that doesn't work, if the reserve price doesn't work, we'll give them another route forward in terms of dealing with the property. So fundamentally, they're not agreeing to do anything until we've told them what the reserve price needs to be. They understand exactly what it's going to cost them to take the property to auction and sell. And at that point, they make an informed decision. And if they want to go forward, we'll then provide terms of business. So we've got the appraisal of property, review the auction terms. And if they then instruct us, we need their anti-money laundering ID, we need to see some photo ID, we need proof of address for the seller. They send the terms of business back approved. At that point, we'll ask them to pay the auction entry fee, the 500 plus VAT, and we then want to start work with their solicitor producing that legal pack. That is first objective. So we would hope that they will use Ackroyd Legal, because we've already got Ackroyd Legal on board with expectation of timescales and also what represents a comprehensive pack. That's not to say that Lendlord clients can't use their own preferred provider. They can, absolutely, they've got the choice. But we'll work with the solicitor and we'll provide them a list of documents that pack has to contain. And then some documents that we would like the pack to contain in order to give absolute clarity to a buyer. But there's a core selection of documents that it has to contain, and we'll manage the lawyer to get that pack to us. We really want legal packs within 2 weeks of the solicitor being instructed. We don't want to commence marketing of the property until we've got the pack. So at the point that we get the legal pack back from the solicitor, we've checked it and approved it, we'll then say to your client, we're going to put you into this auction. And our plan, Aviram, is to hold auctions every 2 weeks. So the first sale is the 18th of January. We then follow up with the 8th of February, and then a rolling program through the year of bi-weekly auctions. So a seller is never going to be more than 2 or 3 weeks away from the next available auction once that legal pack comes in. When we've got the pack, we'll commence marketing. We've got a very powerful offering in terms of our combined databases with the Lendlord database, with the Network Auctions database, with the Essential Information Group database of buyers. Properties get exposure to all of those databases. We're also backing up with Rightmove marketing. So we're getting inquiries from the widest possible market. We'll be conducting viewings. Viewings can be challenging with a tenanted property. I'm dealing with a couple of complex properties at the moment down in Brighton, where we've got a block of 4 flats and a block of 3 flats. We know it's just not going to be possible to get those tenants in the same place at the same time to conduct a nice straightforward viewing on the whole building. So there we're working with detailed floor plans, walkthrough videos, and buyers will purchase based on that information. Ideally, if we've got 1 tenant, we would like a couple of viewing sessions, and we'll talk to the seller about that, how we arrange that. We'll conduct those viewings, we'll accompany those viewings, but we would like to work with the tenant and people be able to see what they're bidding on. That process then culminates in auction day. So let's say people are coming into auction on the 18th of January. We've got our legal pack. We've had our 2-week marketing period, 18th of January. Then the auction's conducted online, supported by Essential Information Group.
Yeah, so perhaps David can say a few words about, like in general, about online auction, what happens on the auction day from both sides, the seller and the buyer. I think that might be interesting to hear.
Okay, well, Toby's sort of given a lead up to where the buyer's going to be, where the seller's going to be getting everything ready. COVID changed everything in the auction world. You know, in March, early March, Toby probably had an auction in the room. His April one was online, and you haven't really looked back, have you, Toby?
Right.
I think the important thing to remember as a buyer or as a seller is to get that information out there. From a platform point of view, it's very well tested now. We've sold since lockdown about 20,000 lots. Sold 30,000 lots on the platform. So it's well tested, well used, about over 600,000 bids. And I can tell you, you know, as running the Essential Information Group, the most important thing we check out is that there's platform stability and that it's not going to crash. I can say that in all those lots we've offered, we've not had a single hiccup which has prevented a sale going through, and I'm very proud of that. And a lot of the work my team do to make the platform solid is so that it can't crash or affect a sale. So it may well happen one day in the future, but we're doing our very best to make sure you are on the most reliable and the busiest, and I'm bound to say best, but the most feature-rich platform there is, which is great for you because the buyers love it and the vendors get the great results with it. I mean, Toby can give his own experience, but that's, I think, a fair summation of what we're doing.
Yeah, no, 100%. The system is absolutely fantastic. And David had been on at me for years about online auctions and why we should be switching over to an online platform rather than the room. And he's quite right. We held a fantastic auction in February 2020. The room was cheek by jowl. It was a wonderful atmosphere. There was loads of bidding. We got amazing results from clients. And then COVID knocked everything for 6. And our April 2020 auction was online. And you know what? I'd never go back to the room because it feels so old-fashioned. The online process is brilliant for a consumer. If you're a buyer, you can bid from home. We've had people bidding on yachts. We've had people bidding from holiday. We have people bidding at work. It's, you know, you don't have to get up to the room. You don't have to get up to London or wherever the auction's held. Take a day off work. You can bid online. It's totally straightforward. So the platform has meant that we are able to deal with all bidders very quickly, register bidders very quickly. We can also give feedback to sellers about how many bidders we've got on the day. The user experience is very clear and transparent if you're a bidder. You can see how many people have made bids. You can see the bid history. You can see the current bid. You can either bid the next increment, or you can make, like on eBay, a maximum bid. And the system will then buy the property at the lowest price for you. We can't see those maximum bids. There's a firewall between us and that data. But it's a very straightforward, secure way of transacting. And at the close of the auction, it's exactly the same as in the room, as the auctioneer putting the gavel down and saying sold. At the close of the auction, the selling price is shown. Buyer and seller have exchanged contracts.
I'd add a couple of things to that. You might not be familiar with our platform. I think eBay have a failure in that they set an end time, let's call absolute, 12 and 0 minutes and 0 seconds, and you have to get your bids in before that. What we do is the way we set up. So is it 60 or 45 seconds your extension?
We have 30.
30. So if some, say Toby's set a scheduled end time of 12 noon, if somebody places a bid at 11:59 and 30 seconds, or slight towards the noon part of that, we will automatically extend the auction by 30 seconds. And if somebody places a bid inside that first 30 seconds extension window, we immediately start another 30 seconds and carry on extending by 30 seconds until nobody places a bid. It's a bit like the auctioneer going first, second, third, and final time. Oh, bid there, thank you very much, and going over again, which means there's no way anybody can't get a bid in time into it. The other thing is that behind the scenes, Toby has visibility of everybody who's registered on your lot. And if when it comes to offer the lot, he might have 10 names who've registered and ready to bid, pay the deposit, etc. If they're not online, they show with a red dot. If they're online, they're shown with green. And I know a lot of auctioneers get bidders to the room by phoning up saying, you do realize this lot closes in 10 minutes. Get online if you want to buy it. It's a great lot. I know you liked it when you saw it. So what we can do, and Toby can see, that's getting bidders to the auction. And if owing to whatever reason it doesn't quite hit reserve, he can see the maximum level that everybody bid to, and then work his way back down the list, trying to garner them up to the reserve or slightly above to secure a deal on that. So the data and the knowledge, I think it's knowledge actually, the knowledge that Toby as the auctioneer gets from the system is probably a factor of at least 10, if not 20, better than what he had when he was standing on the rostrum in a room in front of a load of glass-eyed people.
Absolutely. All right, so basically this is the auction itself, and then let's say that we have a deal. What happens next?
So the property's sold. We then deal with the post-exchange work. So the deposit is paid by the buyer. The deposit goes to the seller solicitor. We confirm the sale in writing to all parties. That goes out by email same day. We put buyer and seller solicitor in contact with each other. But effectively, Aviram, the deal is done. The seller has nothing to do. They can sit back and relax. The solicitors will deal with the post-exchange work. We've got conveyancing complete. The conveyancing is complete at the point of sale. The buyer comes to auction having done their due diligence. If they had questions about the legal pack, the time to ask those questions was before the auction. So at the point of sale, close, 10% deposit is paid, and then we've got that set completion date that the buyer is working towards. The seller's buyer and the seller's solicitor and the buyer's solicitor will have communication. There's various things that they need to do in order to get ready for completion, but effectively your seller can sit back and relax, knowing the property's sold, knowing the buyer's paid their 10% non-returnable deposit, and wait for completion day.
Yes. Yeah, sounds amazing. I think that the process, for all landlords that look for speed and certainty, this can be a great solution. Yeah, we encourage landlord users to apply and send inquiries so we can start the process. And of course, you will have a call with our team and then with Toby's team before we instruct. the process as part of the journey. Any words to summarize our sessions, David, Toby?
I just add on to the last bit. Toby went through
Yeah.
the process, and of course, as the vendor, you'll get paid the rent right up until the last day. There'll be no rent void. So the last day of you getting rent will be the day of completion. I think that's worth so much, given that selling via the private treaty market, if you're going to sell it vacant, they don't. Estate agents, as Toby said, aren't really looking to sell buy-to-lets at the moment. It's a very strong proposition, that.
Yeah, absolutely agree, David. And just to say, Aviram, you know, we'd welcome inquiries. So anybody who's thinking about selling, if they want to find out more about auction, get in touch through the through Lendlord, and we're very happy to provide an appraisal and talk to them, explain more about the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, David?
And if anybody wants to sort of see what prices have been achieved at auction, if they contact me, I'll set them up with a trial of our database, which got 900,000 records, and then go and see what, you know, let properties are selling for, to give them comfort as to where the market is at.
And you have a great historical data as well.
Yeah.
Very valuable for people that wants to buy, and also for potential sellers. All right, so you will have the link on the description of this video, and of course we will share it with our user base. We are welcome inquiries, and we also held a live webinar next week on December 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So you will be able also to ask questions and get your answers from David and Toby, and for myself. So thanks, David. Thanks, Toby, for time.
Pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
And bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.